We live in a world that moves at a frantic pace, a world of constant change, of unexpected challenges, of disappointments, and of triumphs that are often fleeting. We are taught to chase success, to avoid failure, to fight against the current of life. But what if the path to true strength, to genuine calm, is not about fighting? What if it's about surrender? Not surrender in the sense of giving up, but surrender in the sense of acknowledging the fundamental truths of existence, impermanence. Everything, and I mean everything, is in a state of flux. Your joys, your sorrows, your achievements, your setbacks, your health, your wealth, they are all temporary. They are like clouds passing in the sky. Some are bright and beautiful, others are dark and foreboding, but they all move on. The problem is, we cling. We cling to the good moments, desperately trying to make them last forever. We cling to our identities, our beliefs, our possessions. And when these things inevitably change or are taken away, we suffer, we resist. This resistance is the source of our turmoil. It's like trying to hold on to water in your cupped hands. The harder you squeeze, the more it slips away. The first step, the most crucial step, in training your mind to stay calm, is to build an unshakable foundation of acceptance. Accept that life is not a static picture, it is a flowing river. You cannot stop the river, but you can learn to navigate it with grace. This doesn't mean you become passive or indifferent. It means you stop wasting your energy fighting the inevitable. When a challenge arises, a job loss, a difficult relationship, a health scare, our natural instinct is to panic, to catastrophize, to ask, why me? But a more powerful, more calming response is to simply observe, to say, this is happening now, without judgment, without resistance. This is not easy. It requires diligent practice. It is a daily, sometimes hourly choice. It's about shifting your perspective from why is this happening to me to what can I learn from this. It's about understanding that every challenge is an opportunity to practice your inner strength. In the rush of modern life, we often forget the most fundamental, the most miraculous tool we possess, our breath. It is the very essence of life, the bridge between our inner and outer worlds, between our body and our mind. And yet, how often do we truly pay attention to it? When we are stressed, anxious, or angry, what happens to our breath? It becomes shallow, rapid, and constricted. It signals danger to our nervous system, triggering the fight or flight response. Our heart rate increases, our muscles tense, and our mind races. The body and mind are locked in a vicious feedback loop of panic. We feel out of control because in that moment we are. But the beautiful truth is, we can reverse this. We can use our breath as a remote control for our nervous system. It is the most direct and immediate way to influence our state of mind. When you feel the chaos beginning to rise, a wave of anger, a flood of anxiety, a moment of intense frustration, your first response should not be to react. It should be to pause and to breathe. Take a deep, slow, intentional breath. Breathe in through your nose, slowly filling your lungs, all the way down into your belly. Feel your abdomen expand. And then exhale slowly through your mouth, letting go of the tension, the worry, the frantic energy. Repeat this just a few times. Inhale calmness, exhale chaos. This simple act is an anchor. It pulls you out of the swirling storm of your thoughts and grounds you in the present moment. It brings you back to your body, where you are safe. It tells your nervous system everything is okay, there is no immediate threat. Your heart rate will begin to slow. Your muscles will relax. Your mind will have a moment to catch up. This is not some mystical trick. It is a physiological fact. The vagus nerve, which runs from your brainstem to your abdomen, is responsible for the parasympathetic nervous system, our rest and digest mode. We must make this a conscious practice, not just in moments of crisis, but every single day. Start your morning with 10 deep mindful breaths. Take a few intentional breaths before a difficult meeting. Use your breath as a punctuation mark throughout your day, a brief pause to reset and recenter. Over time, this conscious practice will become an unconscious habit. Your mind will automatically turn to your breath when faced with a challenge. The anchor will be there, waiting for you. This is the difference between being swept away by the storm and calmly riding the waves. The breath is your constant companion, your ever-present sanctuary. It is a reminder that no matter what is happening on the outside, you can always find a space of peace on the inside. You can always come home to yourself, to the quiet stillness that resides within. And it all begins with one simple, powerful, life-affirming breath. The mind, left to its own devices, is a chaotic storyteller. It takes every event and weaves a narrative around it. A narrative often filled with fear, judgment, and exaggeration. A simple mistake becomes proof that we are a failure. A moment of silence in a conversation becomes evidence that the other person dislikes us. These stories are not reality. They are the mind's interpretation of reality. And more often than not, they are a source of immense suffering. To train your mind to stay calm, you must learn to become the observer of these stories, not the character in them. You must learn to witness your thoughts and emotions without becoming them. This practice requires a deep commitment to non-judgment. The mind will try to judge your feelings. I shouldn't be feeling this. This is a stupid emotion. But judgment only fuels the fire. It creates resistance, and resistance is the source of suffering. We must treat our inner world with the same compassion we would offer a friend. If a friend told you they were scared or angry, you wouldn't scold them. You would listen. You would be present. We must learn to be that kind friend to ourselves. The goal is not to eliminate difficult emotions. That is an impossible and unhealthy goal. The goal is to change our relationship with them, to see them as temporary visitors, not permanent residents. When you master the art of observation, you become the calm, steady presence in the center of your own life. You are no longer at the mercy of every external event or internal whim. You become the master of your own mind. You are the unshakable mountain, and the emotional storms simply wash around your base, leaving you untouched and at peace. We often confuse caring with clinging. We believe that to care deeply about our relationships, our work, our goals, we must hold onto them with a death grip. We believe that if we let go even a little, we will lose everything. But this is a profound misunderstanding. Clinging is the very thing that leads to suffering. When we cling, we are constantly in a state of fear, fear of loss, fear of failure, fear of not being enough. We are so focused on holding on that we cannot fully enjoy what is in our hands. We cannot be truly present. The antidote to clinging is detachment. But let me be very clear, detachment is not indifference. It is not about becoming a cold, unfeeling robot. True detachment is about holding things lightly. This is a practice of letting go of the need for control. We are obsessed with control. We believe that if we just plan enough, worry enough, and work hard enough, we can control every aspect of our lives. But life is inherently uncontrollable. The only thing you can truly control is your own response. Detachment is the recognition of this simple fact. It is the wisdom to know what is yours to influence and what is not. When you release the need to control, you release an immense amount of tension and anxiety. You can then channel that energy into what you can influence: your actions, your attitude, your present moment. Think about a child playing with sand on a beach. They can build a beautiful sandcastle, but they know that the tide will inevitably come and wash it away. They do not cling to the sandcastle, they enjoy the process of building it. And when it is gone, they simply start another one. They understand the nature of impermanence in a way many adults have forgotten. We must relearn this lesson. We must become like the child on the beach. We must build our lives with passion and purpose. but we must also be willing to let go when the tide comes in. This doesn't mean we don't feel sadness or disappointment. We do, but we don't let those feelings consume us. We acknowledge them, we feel them, and then we release them. This practice of holding things lightly is not a path to a life without meaning. On the contrary, it is a path to a life of deeper, more profound meaning. Because when you are free from the fear of loss, you are free to love more fully, to create more boldly, and to live more completely. You are free to be. The vast majority of our mental suffering comes from living in two places that do not exist, the past and the future. We replay past conversations, past mistakes, past hurts, re-experiencing the pain over and over again. Or we project ourselves into the future, worrying about things that may or may not happen, creating scenarios of failure, fear, and catastrophe. The mind is a time traveler, but it is a terrible time traveler. It drags us away from the only moment that is real, the only moment that is alive, this one, the present moment. To train your mind to stay calm, you must bring it home. You must anchor it in the now. The present moment is the only place where true peace can be found. It is the only place where you have any power. You cannot change the past. You cannot control the future, but you can choose your thoughts, your actions, and your attitude in this very moment. This is where your freedom lies. The practice of presence is simple, but it is not easy. It requires constant vigilance. The mind will try to wander, to pull you back into the whirlwind of worry and regret. Your job is to gently but firmly bring it back, over and over again. How do we practice presence? There are many ways, but the most powerful is through sensory awareness. Pay attention to what is happening right now. Feel the texture of your clothes against your skin. Notice the sound of my voice. Observe the quality of the light in this room. Be fully, completely engaged in whatever you are doing, whether it's eating a meal, washing the dishes, or listening to a friend. When you are fully present, there is no room for anxiety about the future or rumination about the past. Your entire being is focused on the here and now. The mind has no space to create its stories of suffering. Learning to stay calm is not about eliminating all challenges from your life. It is about changing your relationship with them. It is about building an unshakable foundation of acceptance. It is about using your breath as an anchor. It is about becoming the observer, not the actor, in your own life. It is about holding things lightly, and ultimately, it is about living fully and completely in the present moment, the only moment that truly exists. This is the path to inner peace. This is the path to true strength. And it is a path that is open to every single one of you,